Living in America has gotten insane. And I'm not just talking about vibes, I'm talking about your wallet, your health, and your sanity. Owning a house has become a pipe dream for the majority of Americans. We're dependent on cars, and it costs an arm and a leg to get anywhere. And don't even get me started on healthcare. The state I live in, finding a doctor is like finding gold. And that's if you have insurance and you can pay for it. And for what? The US ranks dead last in healthcare outcomes among developed countries. Dead last. All my comments just say America's the best. Not in this. We are last in this. And it's not just the money, it's the burnout, it's the wages, it's the hustle culture, it's all of these things added together. Throw in some political chaos every single day, and I'm looking around and I know I'm not the only one thinking this isn't sustainable.
The US is so crazy expensive. Like, I moved abroad 6 years ago and I come back to visit. Currently, I am back in New Jersey visiting my family. And every time I come back, especially recently in the past like 2 or so years, the cost of things are astronomical. And it's wild to me because I'm like, this obviously used to be my life, like, this was my norm. But I also don't think things were as expensive as they are 6 years ago. But like, your food, which is even more shit than it is everywhere else in the world, but like the quality of food is triple or double the cost of other places. Just your housing, like everything, cup of coffee, going out, a glass of wine, like everything is so much more expensive. It's actual insanity. Like now coming back, I'm always like, this is ridiculous.
I feel like I made more money when I was like 22, 23, 24 than I have when I'm 27. Everything is so expensive. It is so expensive just to live, just to be living in this life. I like strongly need to like consider getting a roommate because I can't afford to live on my own. And I like living on my When I was living in Mankato working my first job, I quite literally had so much more money because the rent was like only like $700 versus like the $1,500 I pay now. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't like that nice of an apartment. I had money, things to do, a little bit of financial security. 27? No. And it only gets worse because when you move to big, metropolitan area, the rent is astronomically expensive.
Family, would you believe me if I told you that over 40 million Americans live below the poverty line? Family, most Americans are actually working more than one job, but they're still not able to sustain the cost of living in America. The prices of common commodities, including groceries, is very, very expensive. Housing is just unbelievable. Very, very expensive, and many people are opting now to stop living in apartment houses and start living, or rather sleeping, in their cars and in tents in the street. Life is becoming unbearable in America. This is thanks to white people who chose Donald Trump as the president of the United States of America. White people who chose racism over good leadership. This is actually the fruit, of choosing the wrong leaders. Right now, we are seeing fascism in American leadership thanks to racism. So far, in this video, you'll see white people complain about the cost of living in America. Once the video is done, we will get back and do a critical analysis about the same. Let's watch this video together, family. And in a special way, I want to thank my subscribers for buying me a coffee. The link is on the description down below. Let's watch this together, family.
As a Gen Xer, and I am an asshole Gen Xer sometimes, I always get on to millennials about certain things, but I have to agree, millennials can't afford this shit. I, as a single Gen Xer, can barely afford to live. I can afford my mortgage. I can afford, my power bill, and I can afford my phone bill and my internet bill, because nowadays you have to have internet if you want to survive. I can barely afford groceries. I can't afford a car. How do we get to this point? How did we get to this fucking point where we have allowed the government and big corporations and big pharma and the medical industry to just take over our lives? Back in my day, I had a one-bedroom apartment when I first moved out at the age of 18 in 1992, 93. I moved out and I had a one-bedroom apartment in South Florida for $500 and some a month that I was able to afford with my power bill and my car and my groceries and my, and I had fun. I went out and I had fun and I got fucked up and I did all the things that I wanted to do at that age. I can't do that shit now. I literally work, I come home, I work, I come home. On my off days, I stay home because I can't afford to do anything else. I understand and I understand that we're going through a major transition in finances and in governments and in truth, and there's a huge awakening happening. I'm having a hard time going through it right now. I'm having a hard time waiting for all these changes to happen. I'm lucky enough that my home right now that I purchased close to 10 years now, I can still afford it. It's $1,100 a month. It used to be $900. Now it's $1,100, so it's gone up. I can still afford it on my own. But God forbid anything happened and I had to leave here, I would have to seriously downgrade from my home that I have built, that I have taken care of, that I have paid for. Because $1,100 a month now that I pay for this house now isn't going to get me much out there. It might get me a 3-bedroom apartment. I had an apartment, 14 years ago with my ex-husband and my 3 kids. It was about $585 a month. It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, decent apartment, yada, yada. That same apartment right now is going for $1,000 a month. $1,000. And back then it included cable and water and trash. Now it doesn't include any of those things. So that's extra. Bro, millennials are having a hard time. They really are. And it's not just millennials. I mean, a lot of us are having a hard time, even Gen Xers. Like I don't have any stocks and bonds. I got rid of my 401k when I left my corporate job to get rid of all the stress. I'm fucked if anything should happen. And I understand that things are happening because they're supposed to happen the way they are, because the financial systems have to break down in order for us to receive our quantum wealth. But bro, life is hard right now. And I don't know enough to know whether it's like this throughout the entire world or if it's just the United States. And if it's just the United States, then they're doing this on purpose to keep us enslaved to the system. Back in my day, I remember being able to take vacations and go on trips and go shopping and buy whatever the hell I wanted and still pay my bills and still have money saved. Now, I work, I come home. I work, I come home. On my days off, like today, I'm sitting out here doing TikToks, cleaning my house, twiddling my thumbs. I don't even have groceries in my cupboard. So today, I'm pretty much just winging it. I found 2 eggs this morning, so I ate those, but I don't have anything. I don't even have a car where I can go out right now because I can't afford a car. I afford my home, my power bill, my internet bill, my phone bill, just the bare necessities. And food, apparently right now, is not a necessity. As a server, I eat at the restaurant, and when I am off, I wing it, and that's it. And that's really fucking sad at my age.
All right, I asked everybody on Facebook that I'm friends with and family, and I'll ask you guys, are you worried that at some point you're just not going to be able to afford life anymore? Like everything keeps going up, but wages don't, and people are already struggling. A lot of people are already struggling. I don't know, something's got to give, and I don't know what the solution is or what the answer is, but yeah, it's getting to be a lot for a lot of families.
The US is so crazy expensive. Like, I moved abroad 6 years ago and I come back to visit. Currently, I am back in New Jersey visiting my family. And every time I come back, especially recently in the past 2 or so years, the cost of things are astronomical. And it's wild to me because I'm like, this obviously used to be my life. Like, this was my norm. But I also don't think things were as expensive as they are 6 years ago. But your food, which is even more shit than it is everywhere else in the world, but the quality of food is triple or double the cost of other places. Just your housing, everything, cup of coffee, going out, a glass of wine, everything is so much more expensive. It's actual insanity. Now coming back, I'm always like, this is ridiculous. like how much people spend to live in the US. And mind you, like I miss home at times. And there are moments where I'm like, could I move back? Like, could I do it? And then I come back here and I'm like, my quality of life will change so much by moving back because I'll be able to do way less than what I'm able to do abroad because everything costs so freaking much. Like, I actually don't think it's ever gonna go down. I don't know how the US is ever gonna flatten out or like normalize because I think things are always gonna be this expensive. And like, yeah, of course, salaries and stuff can go up, but like, I feel like when they go up, everything else just goes up. And it's like continuum. I just don't understand paying like $7 for eggs. Like, that's wild. And I even cracked an egg the other day and I was like, these eggs look disgusting. Like, crack an egg in Spain, not even an organic egg, just a normal egg in Spain. And then I crack an egg here and I'm like, these don't look normal. Like, they don't look normal. They don't come out of the egg normal. I don't get it. But you pay triple the cost what you do other places. It's crazy. Like, I don't know if it's ever going to normalize. And it's wild to me that, like, people obviously live here and this is your norm. And a lot of people obviously complain about it. But, like, it's astronomical. And you're not really getting much better things. Which kind of makes it even worse.
I was just thinking about how expensive it is to be in your 20s. Like, I was having this conversation with a guy that he has 4 kids and the oldest is going to be a 20-year-old. And he's like, think about how, like, are they ever going to be able to even afford a house? Like, I mean, I don't think so. And I was like, yeah, no, they're not. But on top of that, even simple things like just going out to a restaurant it's so expensive. And when I was in my 20s, like when you're single and you're out and you're meeting friends and you're going to maybe meet your future spouse, you live going out, like whether that's going out to a coffee shop or going out to restaurants with friends or going out to have a drink, like whatever you're doing, you're living out. And I'm like, if I was in my 20s now paying these prices, like I would be broke. And I was like, there's something kind of sad about that like, you know, these kids, you know, they, in order to just kind of do what normal kids do, they have to, like, I don't know, they can't, or they spend money and get into debt, which is horrible.
I feel like I made more money when I was like 22, 23, 24 than I have when I'm 27. Everything is so expensive. It is so expensive just to live, just to be living in this life. I like strongly need to like consider getting a roommate because I can't afford to live on my own. And I like living on my own. When I was living in Mankato working my first job, I quite literally had so much more money because the rent was like only like $700 versus like the $1,500 I pay now. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't like that nice of an apartment. I had money, things to do, a little bit of financial security. 27? No. And it only gets worse because when you move to big metropolitan area, the rent is astronomically expensive. Astronomically expensive. It takes up half my paycheck, and I see people all the time on here saying the same stuff. Like, we're all just struggling to live. That's not what life's about. I don't think it is. Oh my god. It's like really bad when you see videos of like 40-year-olds being like, I had to move in with a roommate because I couldn't afford to live on my own in this economy. Inflation sucks. Like, prices are like crazy high right now. And I know what people think, well, you make TikToks so you make money. You would think, no. You have to be a minute long and go super viral. Like, super viral. TikTok hates me, so that doesn't ever happen. Gotta go on and spend more money I don't have. Because I need to get things I need to live. Anyways, please blow this up so I can make money. I'm serious. I don't know what the F to do at this point.
Gen Z is so screwed. This new study put out by Smart Assets shows how much money you need to make in 2024 to live comfortably as a family of 4, 2 adults and 2 kids by state in the United States. And as you can see, bottom line is, it is expensive. They define living comfortably as being able to pay off debt while also saving for the future. They say that if you are an individual and you want to live in a major US city, you need to make $96,500. And if you're a family with 2 kids, you need to make $235,000 in order to live in one of those cities.
Do you guys remember when stressing about money was during the 2008 recession, feeling guilty about bothering your parents about buying a Webkins because you knew everybody was a little tight for cash? How I wish it was that simple.
Living in America has gotten insane. And I'm not just talking about vibes. I'm talking about your wallet, your health, and your sanity. Owning a house has become a pipe dream for the majority of Americans. We're dependent on cars, and it costs an arm and a leg to get anywhere. And don't even get me started on healthcare. The state I live in, finding a doctor is like finding gold. And that's if you have insurance and you can pay for it. And for what? The US ranks dead last in healthcare outcomes among developed countries. Dead last. All my comments to say America's the best. Not in this. We are last in this. And it's not just the money, it's the burnout, it's the wages, it's the hustle culture, it's all of these things added together. Throw in some political chaos every single day, and I'm looking around and I know I'm not the only one thinking this isn't sustainable. That's why more and more people are moving abroad. They want to live somewhere where going to the doctor isn't having a mini panic attack, where life isn't just surviving till Friday, where you don't have to prove 3 times rent. It's why a lot of Americans are asking, is this worth staying? For a lot of people, me included, the answer is no. We are moving abroad next year. If you're curious what that life looks like, stick around. Because at the end of the day, people like you and me are just looking for lives of dignity. And right now, we don't have that.
Family, currently many white folks are exposing their system. They are unable to sustain the cost of living. The government is failing them. The system is raised. And family, most of them are complaining. They are very worried about the cost of living right now in America. And family, I always tell many people in most of my videos, this is thanks to people who thought of their own interests rather than the interest of Americans in general. With so many white folks afraid of choosing any other leaders apart from Donald Trump because they knew that Donald Trump would be a good leader when it comes to matters color. They knew with Donald Trump white interests would be met. And family, right now we are seeing the opposite. Every American is being affected. Every American is paying for these crazy bills from their pocket. People are working many jobs to ensure that they can sustain life in America. People are losing home with even buying homes. Family, a 20-year-old has no hope to buying a home in future right now in America. Even renting a home is very, very expensive because people chose the wrong leaders. Inflation is high. The wages are constant. That means that many Americans are running on pay cuts because there's no way that the inflation will be very, very high while the wage maintains. Family, let us talk about rent. People are tired of paying rent, especially with crazy amounts, which many a times do not make sense. Imagine paying a one-bedroom house between $1,600 all the way to $2,200, and the unit is not even worth it. This just shows us the constraints of Americans right now. A lady in the video mentioned how she was paying rent 500 USD a few years ago. Could be 10, 15 years. And right now, as the same apartment unit, the same house costs just a lot of money. That just makes you understand that these prices do not even make sense. Some of them do not give even value, for the house. And many Americans right now are in the streets. Many people are parking their cars at night, sleep inside of their cars, wake up and run straight to work. There's no need for you to pay rent. We are seeing more and more people living together. People are coexisting for them to be able to fund these crazy amounts in bills. Electricity is also skyrocketing, very, very expensive. So people right now are choosing to live together for them to be able to pay for a one-bedroom house. Most young people are even afraid of marrying. As a young man, you are afraid of taking care of a family because how do you take care of your family in such a times? How do you even give birth to a kid in such a time? People are afraid because the prices are going high and high each and every day. Let us talk about groceries. Grocery is very, very expensive. People are surviving in America right now. People are not living life. Most people are surviving, spending more than $300 each and every week on groceries alone. leave alone any other shopping you need in your home. Imagine you have a child going to school. Crazy amounts are being spent each and every day. Family, when I see white Americans cry right now, I'm just reminded how karma can work. In anything that you do in life, always think about tomorrow. Always think about your brothers and sisters. In their time, they thought that black people did not make sense. Right now, everyone is being affected. They chose a fascist leader. They chose a racist leader, because they thought that their interests would be met. Right now, America has been going through a lot of evictions. Eviction is normal, while many Americans are now living in cars. What is happening right now is actually an engineered situation. Family, this is engineered. This is nothing. This is nothing. This is nothing about the economy and everything. This is engineered to make life hard for Americans. Project 2025 itself is a fascist framework, that transforms the executive into a weapon of domestic war. More than 62% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck with no financial cushion. Medical debt have skyrocketed to $101 billion. Online fundraisers have become the order of business for millions, many of them opening up GoFundMe, to ensure that they can be able to pay for their rent. That just shows you how expensive life is right now in America, how expensive racism is, and many white folks are noticing this, that the cost of racism is very, very high. Imagine if there was nothing like racism. Imagine that everything was equal, everything was constant. Right now, America could be having universal healthcare. Let us just be honest. Why does America, not have universal healthcare? It's because marginalized groups could also benefit from this same cover. Why are tuition fees very, very high? Because black folks were not people that the government saw worthy, to learn and study. They wanted to put these prices up to ensure that now black folks cannot be able to study. Okay, let's go to a third sector. Look at all these monies being pumped in ICE programs. Are they even worth it? Could the same money be put to Medicare and Medicaid? Could the same money be put to food stamps? They are looking for ways to make life harder for Americans and pump money in sectors that do not benefit the economy and Americans at large. And family, people are noticing that they've been doing the wrong decisions. They've been making the wrong decisions. They voted wrong leaders. Family, times are crazy right now. Living in America is very, very expensive. Very, very expensive. This is all thanks to fascism and racism. The heavy cost, of racism is what Americans are feeling right now. Family, let me know in the comment section down below what you think about this episode. I do not take your support for granted. You guys have been amazing to me. Videos have been doing really, really well. A lot of interaction. And in a special way, I just want to thank you for subscribing to the channel, for liking my comments, my content, sharing it with your friends and family. I do not take it for granted. Comment down below. Let me know what you think about this specific episode. We are currently on the road to 50,000 subscribers. Guys, I'd really appreciate if you all do consider subscribing, and we grow together as a family. Thank you, and see you all in our next episode. Goodbye for now.